I, Quanimon. Sorry for taking forever to do this. Let's just hop into it. Episode 3, Night 3. Nacor, the judge case. Blah, blah, blah. You open one eye. You start whistling some song that's been in your head since you woke up, though you don't know why. It's gonna be a long night. You get up quickly, and a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Let's see. Are there any important people tonight? Well, yet, I mean. Doesn't look like it, so I'm gonna go to one of these events. That's what these are, right? Events? No, these are, fucking, what do you call them? The, information guys, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what those are. I've been to this one, so I'm gonna go to this guy. Okay. This one right here. The shape on your right reminds you of the night you were attacked. When light finally illuminates it, it's just an old lady. Park a taxi across from the stadium just a few meters from a two-story building. It's an odd brick place that clashes with the huge concrete behemoth that is the Charity Stadium. You get out of the car and walk to the front door. You knock. You wait a few minutes. Lights come on, and the door finally opens. Marco appears. Marco is a former taxi driver. A strange guy, a bit spacey and different. He's been working at the stadium for a few years now. Well, shit. You're still alive? That's Marco. You like him. I mean, wow. It's so nice to see you. Even though he stole your wife. Shit. Real fuck you, Marco. Come in, come in. You want a drink? All right, you stopped drinking. Cup of coffee? No thanks. Follow him into his caretaker's home. It's pretty nice despite the mess and filth. He sits at the table and points for you to sit down as well. The only noise in the room is the TV behind Marco. Before you came by, he was playing a soccer video game. Fans are still singing and clapping their cheeks. So, what have you been up to? What have you been up to? I've been okay. He didn't ask how I was doing. I've got some questions for you. He shakes his head. No, not yet. Man, seriously, no. Last time I helped you, I lost my job, so the answer is no. You have no choice and you know it. You owe me this much. Marco drops his head between his shoulders. He starts to beg. I'm telling you, man, I love this job. It's so easy. I get to take care of a stadium that's empty 75% of the time. He sits up roughly in his chair. Behind him on the screen, the stadium's going wild. I need information on Ronan Bassan. He straightens up. Ronan? The coach that got killed by the judge? The very one. He was a great guy. Everyone's torn up about it. Spit it out. There were rumors. Some parents heard he was a little too hands-on with the kids a while back, if you get my drift. But no one ever looked into it. Was it true? I don't know nothing. He sighs. A few months ago, Ronan courted a kid. Like, by the showers, you know what I mean? The kid stabbed him in the thigh with a pair of scissors and ran away. The kid's parents weren't sure whether they'd file a complaint. The club director brought Ronan in and bam! 2 days later, he was murdered. Who else knows this? About the kid? No one, I think. Well, maybe some other parents. I don't know. You get up. One last thing. Give them the names of your suspects or victims. I'm gonna say suspects. You go through the name of the suspects. No reaction. Until you mention Salem. Wait. The kid's parents. They knew a lawyer. He came 2 days before Ronan was killed. It was Salem Wade Yan, the same guy who's defending the terrorists. Did you meet Ronan? Yeah, he totally came. He knew Ronan. He was his coach, like 25 years ago. Small world. His voice suddenly sounds childlike. Don't tell anyone where you got this information, alright? Don't worry. Yeah, I've heard that before. A vuvuzela noise comes from the TV. Okay, I've gotta run. He walks you to the door, mumbling with clenched teeth. Every time I run into you, you jinx me. Every single time. You walk outside and over to your taxi. Door, key, motor purring. You go back to work. That was some nice info. Now let's see if there's anyone important. Ah, perfect. Someone important. Annie's close. Where do you need? What you need, homie? 'Cause I need you to talk to me. You notice a cat sitting on the roof of a car parked off the side. You get the impression he's watching you, judging you. Hey, pal, can you help me out? Yeah, I got you, homie. The door opens. It's Herve, a homeless man like hundreds of others in Paris. Known each other for years, and every now and then he asks you for a favor. To drive him someplace. As usual, he greets you quietly, though he always seems a little on edge. Hey, buddy. What's up, pup? He has a strange verbal tick that you've never really understood. You start the cab. The passenger in the back seat's whistling a funny tune. He's in a pretty good mood. Say nothing. Take a look at him in the rear view. You know Herve can be quite the talker. Feels like talking. He talks. A few minutes later, he clicks his tongue. Hey, you want to hear the best part? You nod slowly. My ex-wife. She just remarried. A pause. A lengthy pause. Your passenger looks out the window, absorbed by the sights, the buildings, the car's headlights. She remarried a nice guy. Good for her. How'd you find out? She sometimes comes around with stuff for me, she told me. She was embarrassed. She gave me a blanket, a few books, some canned food, ravioli. Does she do that often? Yeah, from time to time, when she comes to Paris. In the rearview mirror, your passenger's face clouds over, as if what he was saying had just sunk in. Suddenly, between clenched teeth, he hisses. Whore. You look up. Whore? What? Didn't you just say whore? Your passenger smiles slightly. Nuh-uh. Don't worry about it. I was thinking about something else. Suddenly Herve opens the cab door. Oh no, is he gonna skedaddle? You can pull up over here. I don't want to get you into any trouble. Guys in the squad can be a little on edge, Hedge. Park the car and Herve opens the door. Good night, and thanks, Ken. He gives you a smile. A moment later, Herve vanishes inside a graffiti-covered building. Its imposing Art Deco facade mesmerizes you for a moment. And then you start the cab. Nothing! Nothing! Bro, I'm getting fucking robbed. The last like 6 fuckers haven't paid me. I need to actually fucking... There's no one important tonight, right now, right? Alright, cool. Let me hit this guy up. Gonna go broke. Policewoman crosses the street and freezes. She shines her flashlight at you, then continues on her way without a word. Passenger climbs into the cab and slams the door shut behind him. Good evening. Plain St. Denis, please. He stops short, visibly sizing you up. Do you know where it is? You nod yes. Avenue. That thing, so... You know the street? Yes, sure. He looks at you intently. You know all the streets of Paris. His question drips with disbelief. You know his kind well, the sort who'd refer to you as the Arab and not bat an eyelid. Yes, I do, Monsieur. He seems hesitant. Well then, let's go. You start the cab. Your client stares out the window as if hypnotized. You watch him in the rearview mirror. His face is familiar to you. His accent too, though you'd never be able to place it. Typical of some royal region, Central France perhaps. You take another look. That's it. You've got it. He was a contestant on one of those reality shows where farmers meet women. You'd seen him on the show a few weeks before. You'd watched it from your hospital bed with a distracted eye. But something about it had bothered you. The show was a masquerade. Life in the country seems seen from a very partisan and cynical perspective, full of scorn and contempt. Okay then, you figured out who I am? His remark and his accent bring you back to the present. Sorry. You recognize me, right? So you can make fun of me now. Make fun of you. He shrugs. Yeah, like all those other people do out there. And on their Tweety thing. Tweety. Takes you a second to realize he's talking about social media. Make fun of you? Yeah, well, go on, have a good laugh. It's free, right? Why shouldn't you? Have a good laugh at my expense, that's all I'm good for, right? His eyes meet yours, his face faltering, or voice faltering. He sighs heavily, then shakes his shoulders. He goes on staring at you for a while, and then seems to calm down. Sorry. He shakes his head, obviously moved. His shell is starting to crack. It's a living hell. Imagine what I'm going through. It's a nightmare. 3 months ago, I was a contestant on that stupid show, Fields of Love. Well, I said yes because my wife's been dead for 25 years. Been all alone ever since. Just me and the cows and udders. Udders. He stops and shrugs. The show was aired like a month ago. First things were fine. Friends called. We had a good laugh and all. Then I find out the internet is laughing at me too. There are those things. I can't remember what they're called. Moms? Mams? Mims? You know those pictures that move all by themselves on the damn internet? You have no idea what he's talking about. Nod politely. So I made myself a Tweety account to go and see what they're saying about me. Calling me a virgin and a Nazi. That I screw my cows too. He looks away as if someone else has spoken the words. They practically die laughing. A farmer who doesn't want to finish the sentence. So yesterday I said I'd had it. I called my cousin to keep an eye on my farm and I left for Paris. I'm on my way to see those TV jokers right now. 6 months ago, they said if there's any problem whatsoever, they'd take care of it. Well, there is a problem. His anger is subsided somewhat. His face is returning to a normal color. What do you think they're gonna do? What's your plan? Hell yes, I have a plan. I mean, that's what I'm asking. I'm gonna show up at their office and raise Cain until they listen to me. You're really gonna do that? Yeah, that's the plan. He gives an energetic nod of the head. And believe me, they're gonna listen. I may just be a plain old farmer, but nobody's gonna disrespect me. He squares his shoulder as if to fend off the attacks. Forget it. His eyes half closed, he practically growls the words. There's a palpable air of sadness about him. At first, I told him I didn't want to be on their stupid old show. It wasn't for me. But they insisted. Showed me pictures of the women. He lowers his eyes. And then, well, I said yes. Should never have said yes. You pull up to the address he gave you. The studio gates are still closed. Park the cab and cut the engine. Is it closed? You nod yes. It doesn't open until 6. You point to a sign posted near the gates. She sighs. But there'll be hardly anyone here before 9 or 10 o'clock. I don't care. I'll wait. He rummages through his pockets and pulls out a wallet. What are you gonna ask him? I want them to apologize on TV, during the show, in front of everyone. Talk about all the things they changed, all the bits of sentences they cut up and put back together. He fixes his gaze on you, his eyes narrow. You know, I'm not racist. His voice is low and raspy. Don't believe the show, I didn't mean what I said. And I really didn't say that stuff either. They always do that. He nods. Yeah, well, the media, they distort everything. Change things. Things are more, you know, more. He's searching for the right word. It's no use, his hands are shaking. Oh well. He fixes his gaze on you, visibly moved. I'm not very good at this. He chokes up, gesturing with the hands as if to make it all disappear. When he starts up again, he's on the verge of tears. Anyhow, I'll just wait here until it opens. The passenger pays a fare and exits the cab. You watch him for a minute as he starts his vigil in front of the gates. You notice a newspaper on the back seat. Unless your last passenger may have left it behind. Or the one before? You grab it and put it away. come in handy. Then you start the cab. It's back to the grind. Oh shit! He gave me a newspaper. I don't have to stop at the gas station today. That's good. Oh, everyone's so far. What the fuck? I haven't found like any important people. This is whack as hell. The next closest person, this bitch. Read the newspaper. Pull a newspaper out of your glove compartment and start leafing through it. Eventually something grabs your eye. It's a sensationalist article about the third victim, Simon Gordisher. He is thought to have escaped Argentina in the 1980s because he was a member of the process, the military dictatorship that had been in power. Pretty important information in your opinion. Turn the page and stop. You've read about a third of the newspaper. You stop reading and go back a few pages. You thought you saw something. A short, very sarcastic text informs you your fellow cab drivers are going to protest this weekend against vehicles for hire. You shrug. Your boss treats you a lot better than most companies. You only have a third left to read. As soon as you get to the page, you stopped. Your instinct tells you to look at. It's on a controversial subject. The victims of Rittiden are appealing in an international class action suit. They still haven't seen a single cent of compensation. The article describes the hundreds of people affected with partial or total paralysis, nerve damage, Parkinson's disease. The victims are ready to fight for as long as it takes. You shut the paper. It'll end up in the trash tonight. If you remember, it's there. Otherwise, it'll spend the rest of its days in your glove compartment. Oh, that stopped me from fucking going to the chick? Oof. That's a fat oof right there. Whoa, why do I have to go all the way around? Why can't I just like zoom zoom? Alright, let's go to this guy, he's closest. I was gonna get that chick, but she wants to be a bitch. Oh, I'm gonna barely be able to get this guy, but I don't even want to get this guy. Fucking $9, that's not shit. Passenger who settles into the back seat could be a male model. It's attractive. He asks you to take him to to an airport. His voice is mild and pleasant. You sense your passenger wants to talk about the killer. It's simple. Since the first murder, everyone thinks they know something. Everyone thinks they saw something. And this passenger is no exception. Watch him in the rearview mirror as he adjusts his clothes, checks his breath, and is obviously primping. Primping? You drive people to the airport all the time. They bring along a suitcase or a bouquet of flowers. The passenger doesn't have either. He's looking at himself in the rearview mirror. His lips part and he runs his tongue over his teeth. Nothing's stuck in my teeth, right? Shake your head no. You wonder why he's going to the airport. You're wondering why I'm going to the airport, don't you? Or aren't you? Yes. I can tell you were curious. I'll tell you. But it's a secret. His voice has changed, as if he was about to deliver a speech. Women today are too smart for us men. Too smart. They're onto us the minute we try to hit on them. He crinkles his nose as if there was a bad smell in the cab. There are dozens of books on how to get lucky, and how to score, but they all make it the same big mistake. Do you know what the mistake I'm talking about is? They're written by men. I don't see why that's a problem. After all, deer don't write books on hunting, do they? He smirks. No, let me tell you. All those books about hitting on women never tell you where the best hunting grounds are. A movie pause. Airports. Another movie pause. It's brilliant, right? Women in airports are lonely, emotional, and available. On the streets, they're always in a hurry. Don't have any time at the movies and the museums. They don't want to be disturbed. But at the airport, he's clearly very proud of himself. He remains silent. He crinkles his nose and sniffs again. Is it me? Is there a funny smell in your cab? You sniff too. Sorry, I don't smell anything. He shrugs, then goes back to his monologue. Personally, I prefer older women. Let him talk. Single moms who are at the airport to pick up or send their kids to their exes are waiting at the unaccompanied minor's counter to get information about a late flight or a gate change. Walk over to the counter, look at the flight information, pretend to be worried. My sister, I say. I'm waiting for my little sister. She's never been to Paris before. I'm gonna take her to the Louvre. I'm gonna take her to somewhere fancy. She wants to work in fashion someday. She's already very talented. Hope everything's okay. She had a good flight. She means the world to me. She's my half-sister, but I love her like a sister. Smile, he takes another sniff, glances around the cabin, and picks up where he left off. I speak English, I promise. The half-sister line works every time. Divorced parents, remarried, every time. He busts out laughing. A word of advice though? You have to get there early. Make a day of it. Keep an eye on the domestic flights, the delays, the companies. Requires a little preparation, but I usually go home with 20, even 30 numbers. In 6 hours. Not bad, eh? Damn, that's a job. Let him talk. Another thing I wouldn't recommend orally. The counters are a disaster there. You have to go back and forth between the different levels. It's exhausting. The neon lights, they ruin your eyes. No, Roisy is definitely the way to go. The domestic flights terminal. You know. He rubs his hands together. I can feel it. Today's my lucky day. It's gonna be amazing. Gotta fall for me. Big time. You can't resist. You have a slight cough and say, "Excuse me. Mind if I ask you a personal question?" No, of course. Not at all. Anything to help you understand my game plan. You really need to go through all that? What do you do after all that? Yeah, what do you do after all that? After what? After you get their numbers. Ah, very good question. I rate all the women I talk to. Give them stars on a scale of 1 to 5 according to appeal level. Go home, I start sending messages. First to 3 stars. He drops his voice in knowing tones. They're the easiest. Best looks, easy ratio. Same thing the next day, with the 4 stars. They usually play hard to get. They see themselves as real beauties. He sniffs with a look of disgust. And then, the 5 stars. The day after that. Just to leave them hanging a little, to get them to doubt their own attractiveness. It's rule number 1 when you want to pick up women with my little strategy. Lower their sense of self-esteem. Cab pulls into the drop-off lane. Your passenger pays the fare and exits the cab. I'm telling you, you should take my advice. It's a piece of cake. You just need to come up with a good line or two. They all fall for it. It's really bizarre. That smell of shit seems to be following me wherever I go. He walks away. Under the sole of his right shoe, you catch a sight of a dark brown spot. The passenger disappears into the airport. Roll down the back seat window and start up the cab. 99-cent tip. Asshole. That's the end of my night, sadly. I wouldn't be able to get to anybody else. And there's no one important anyway, so. Can I go here? Talk to this guy? Get some information before the end of the night? Nope, can't. As soon as it hits forwards, it's go time. It's done. You know more about your clients. Check the menu for details. You've met Herb. I made $30 today. Damn. I made 30. I lost 90. Jesus fucking Christ. See how I'm supposed to be able to do this and keep up my money at the same time. How do I pay bills? Take a few minutes to update your board with new clues. Suddenly overcome with the desire to sleep. Close your eyes, press your fingers to your eyelids, and let out a yawn. Take your shoes off before getting to work. Let's see. What new clues have I gotten in the cab ride? I know I got a few things. Victim 1 met with Salem or Salim. This guy's victim 1, right? Wait, no, this is a suspect 1. Victim 1's dead. Victim 1, Salim's coach when he was a kid. His coach. Okay. Your coach is dead. Alright, now let's see. Victim 1 equal to molester, never arrested. This guy a molester? Yeah. Defender of several molested kids in poor neighborhoods. Molester, never arrested. It does go to him. Okay. Message on the crime scene, you deserve this. Victim 1, protected by the mayor. Okay. Go down here. What new clues do we have for this? Victim 2, stolen wallet. Herm. I don't see how that really goes to him though. Just because he's homeless, I guess. Victim 2 killed in the only spot without CCTV. Killer fought with victim 3. The killer doesn't have a set way to kill. So like, how do we know it's the same guy every time? Alright. Honestly, I don't know how we're gonna get the killer based of all these clues. She has the most, but all of hers are about fucking Argentina. Nothing really links to her. Salem, he's just a lawyer. I don't really think he would be it though. And Paul, definitely not. But why didn't we... What does the bullet look like, the one that was in me? Or did I get stabbed? Pretty sure I got shot. If it's a rare gun, it's probably this guy. I'm honestly thinking it's this guy though. The period dude or her. But I got one last night, I believe. So let's end this one. Phone rings, you jump up. Not used to hearing it. No one ever calls you. It must be Busse. Pick it up. Pick up. Busse sounds irritated. You there? Yeah. Listen, it's... She pauses. You suddenly hear a ruckus in the background. Probably noise at the station. Busse raises her voice. Anyone got the time? Hey, guys. Anyone? Fuck, they're all Neanderthals here. Listen, it's early and I'm wiped out. So are you, I bet. Let's get straight to the point. What do you have for me? In a calm and methodical voice, you start giving her the information, the evidence you've collected. You start with the first suspect, their connection to the victims, the rumors, the second suspect, and so on. A few minutes in, she lets out a whistle. Not bad at all, seriously. You should come give a lesson to the zombies I work with. A long sigh. I have some good news for you. Check the alibi of one of the suspects I gave you. As you listen to her, you turn to the board and pull down the suspect she's referring to. So, it's gotta be someone else. She snickers. You know how lucky you are? Doing your job for you, pal. Okay, enough chit-chat. I gotta run. I'll call you in 2-3 days? Okay? Alright. Good doggy. Oh, you can suck my dick, Busse. I'll call you in 3 days, and you better have what I need to make a proper arrest. DA has fangs. I'm pretty sure he's gonna turn into a werewolf at some point. She babbles on for a while. Her voice becomes softer, but just as sarcastic. That would explain his terrible breath. Okay, I'm out. She hangs up. Hold the handset to your ear. And for a while, you've just one thing in mind. Sleeping. And forgetting it all. So who was done? Who's not the... What? He's not it? The guy that I thought was it? Fuck. Okay. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You open the sofa bed and lie down. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Alright. That was the end of that night. Cool. Alright, hey, fuck, I guess that's the end of the episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being there. And have a good night. Adios.